Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another short review. And on this video, wow, I have done the unthinkable. I have done the unimaginable. I mean, I think a lot of people would consider this to be a death sentence. I am collecting like the Marvel and DC movies that I like. And so the stacks have been getting kind of big. And the last few videos have been kind of switching back and forth between Marvel and DC. Or at least because I did the Venom. So that's association with Marvel. And I thought, you know what? Since I did the Venom trilogy, I'm gonna go pick up Madam Web. I already own Morbius, and that's on DVD. So I'm gonna go see if I can get a DVD of Madame Web. And so I went over to Zia Records, and they said that they had the Blu-ray for $13.99 and the DVD for $12.99. So I bought the Blu-ray, and I've never seen it, and I mostly just watched like the hate videos for it. So today I decided I'm going to sit down and watch Madame Web, and I watched it, and then I went onto YouTube and watched a bunch of like the history of Madame Web and the history of like the Spider Women or Spider Girls. And then I thought, you know what? Let's watch Morbius. I originally saw a bootleg of it and hated it. Then I watched it on streaming and hated it. And then rewatched it and didn't hate it. So I did the same thing. So I went on to YouTube. I watched a history of Morbius. And I got to tell you, this was not a death sentence. I actually enjoyed watching these movies. So in this video, I'm going to talk about both films. And Madam Web is it is kind of a mess. Um so it's one of those films where I think more people know about the history of the film than they do about the movie itself. It went through a bunch of reshoots. It was funny that the trailer came out like the day after the Marvels bombed, and everybody was like, "What the hell are they doing? Another girl boss movie?" And the Marvels just tanked. What horrible timing! And I didn't know a lot about Madam Web, the cartoon or comic book character. She then ended up on the Spider-Man animated series. Um, and I didn't really know about, except for maybe the kind of like Miles Morales Spider-Man, like animated films. I didn't really know a lot about like Spider Woman or women or Spider Girls or anything until I started watching all this stuff. And in fact, there's my where. How can I do this? There's my little Spider-Man beanie baby up there. Since he's not in the movies, I figured I should have him at least in the video. But the funny thing is, both movies do reference not Spider-Man, but some they do reference things within the Spider-Man like verse. The Daily Bugle is mentioned. The Daily Planet, which is its competitor, is brought up. In Madam Web, Jonah, who would be Joe, you know, Joe James. Oh my God, the editor of the Daily Planet or Daily Bugle. I'm sorry, man, I'm messing that all up. Um, he's one of the girl's uncles. So J. Jonah Jameson. Oh my God, I think I'm still messing this up. This is embarrassing since Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel character. But he's mentioned. So there's And then, of course, in Madam Web, this is the origin story to Madam Web and the Spider Women or Spider Girls, I guess depending on when they popped up in the comic book. And it's the birth, even though they never say Peter, they never mention his name, but it is supposed to be the birth of Peter Parker, because you do have, my favorites are, you got, Emma Roberts, who I absolutely love, plays Mary Parker, and then you have Adam Scott as Ben Parker. But Mary Parker is pregnant, and she is the sister-in-law to Ben Parker. So you're supposed to get that when she has the kid without saying Peter, that it is Peter Parker. It's so this is the Blu-ray that I picked up from Madam Web. So it's the Blu-ray. It didn't come with the digital, which is fine. I never used the digital anyways. And I did watch all the special features because I was hoping that somewhere within the behind the scenes, you would maybe see footage that they didn't use. And but in the Morbius behind the scenes, there is footage that you don't see. It looks like there is a fight in like a forest where Jared Leto's, character Morbius hits Matt Smith's character Milo up against like a big tree, and the tree kind of like partially explodes. They show 2 shots of this. So that's not in the movie. There's also no deleted scenes there's a deleted scene on Madam Web. There is a gag reel, Easter eggs, Oracle of the Page, Fight Like a Spider, also includes future vision and casting the web. One of the reasons why I did buy this is because I am a huge Emma Roberts fan. So I did pick this up for that. It's funny because and if I had to give a rating to it, because I've been rating all of these, is I would give Madam Web, let's say out of 5, I would give it, and this is within the Sony Spider-Verse Venom type of thing. I would probably give Madam Web 2 stars, 2.5 maybe. I would give Morbius, and this is the DVD for this. Now I kind of wish I did get the Blu-ray of this, because I kind of like it. I do wish it was the Living Vampire, though. I wish that they would have put that on there. So I'm going to give this probably like 3 out of 5. I think Jared Leto put in 100% into this role, like he does everything. I love his, even with the bad dialogue, I love his line delivery, where I think Dakota Johnson, where she's mentioned that, there's the film you sign up for, there's the and then you see it change, and then you kind of see it change into the, what type of movie. I think maybe at first she was enthusiastic about doing this, and then she just lost interest, and she's fine. She's good. Her character is pretty unlikable, I guess, until near the end, where she does change a little bit. Sydney Sweeney, they might as well have just put into an astronaut suit. I have a feeling maybe because this is directed by a woman that they weren't going to expose anything on her. The other girls have like belly shirts and stuff, but it's not horribly directed. It's not horribly edited. It's not. It is a mess, but where this, I think, I don't know, this is just about 2 hours, and this is like 1 hour and 45 minutes. It also, which is funny, is, comic book wise, Morbius and of course Madam Web were both, ended up being, the comic book and stuff were in Spider-Man. And then after a while, Morbius went then to Blade. And in the movie Blade, I don't think it's on the disc. I found it on YouTube. It's a work print of the original ending. And Morbius is in the original ending. I think they just, in the film, they just cut right before we see him. But we see the young woman scientist that is making a cure for Blade. And then there's Blade who says, keep your cure. I'm like good with who I am. I got crime to fight. They're on top of the building, and she kind of looks over, and Blade follows her, and they're standing on another building watching them is Morbius. And they completely cut that. But it's on YouTube if you want to see it. So it's interesting the history of these characters and how this history isn't really put into these movies at all. And if I had to compare them, because I've used this example before, if I had to go with the Batman movies, so we'll go DC with like the Joel Schumacher Batman films, I would probably say that Morbius would be Batman Forever, while Madam Web would be more Batman and Robin. And I say that because even though Madam Web kind of feels like a more complete movie in a way, it does seem like there's chunks missing in a way. There's a lot of explanation, but then there's not a lot of explanation for things that we need. But I don't know, maybe because there were a lot of problems with this movie, like it's supposed to take place in 2003, I believe, but they got the date messed up. Like they got the Spider-Man era mixed up, so they had to fix that within the film with like visual effects. There were a lot of problems. And but while Morbius to me kind of feels more like Batman Forever, where Batman Forever feels choppy, but does feel like there's a lot of stuff missing. And some of that stuff is in the deleted scenes, like the opening with Arkham and Two-Face escaping. So even though, Batman and Robin may be the worst of the two, it feels more complete, while Batman Forever is the better of the two, but it's choppy. And that's how I kind of feel about these is, Morbius, I think, is the better movie, but it feels choppy. And Madam Web is the worst of the two, but feels more complete, if that makes sense. So, and it's having these references to Spider-Man, but not having Spider-Man in the film, where I did hear at one point that Spider-Man was going to be in one of the Venom movies. I think it was supposed to be part 2. And either that got filmed and cut or just was never shot. The closest thing that we do have to it is Venom Let There Be Carnage, where he goes into the multiverse and sees Spider-Man on the TV screen. This, I guess with Madam Web, you can't really have that because Peter just got born. And so you just have to give hints that this takes place in the same world, and that in the future we will have Spider-Man. We're also going to have, the Spider Women or Spider Girls. And I keep saying it that way, excuse me, because the videos that I was watching, that's how they refer to them. That there are a couple different Madam Webs. There are a few different Spider Women or like Spider Woman. That there are a few of them. There are Spider girls. There are so that's why I'm saying it that way, is because not all of them were Spider Women. Some of them were Spider Girls. And so we get these Daily Bugle or Daily Planet references. With Morbius, we also get a shot that's in the trailer that's not in the movie. That's there is a Spider-Man poster, and it's when Morbius is walking down an alleyway, and I think it's the scene where he's following the two guys to the underground building that's deserted, which I loved, and that's where they're making the counterfeit money. And he's about to walk past some steam, and I think right past that steam is where the Spider-Man poster is. And in the trailer, we see him, and there's the poster Spider-Man, and he's like, kind of, on the web, kind of slinging through the city, and it says murderer on it. So I don't know exactly what that reference is. There is nothing in Madam Web during the credits. There's no pre-credits, there's no after credits, there's no mid-credits. There are no scenes for any upcoming movies in this. In Morbius, we do get 2 scenes, like additional, like Easter egg scenes, where we see the Vulture, and we get a little bit of the credits, and then that cuts to Michael Keaton, and he pops into a prison cell, and he says, "I hope the food is better here." And then we see news reporters saying, "Oh, this guy just showed up. He just appeared in this cell. Most likely he's going to be set free." And we see him like leaving the prison, and he's cuffed, and he gets into a van. And then the credits come back up, and then at the very end, and I know a lot of people criticize this, which is that it is the Vulture, but it's probably not Michael Keaton. It's probably like a stunt person, but it's Michael Keaton's voice saying that both Morbius and himself should team up, because he knows of other people who would like to team up too, and that he knows that Spider-Man has something to do with this. And so then there's our Spider-Man reference. I didn't mind that it wasn't Michael Keaton. I really didn't care. Why would they get him for that? I mean, he has a mask on. They would use like a stunt person. None of these things will happen. None of these things, because these movies bombed. I think what people should do is they should have a Madam Morbius double feature, kind of do like a Barbenheimer. And you guys, get both of the movies, because you could, find them streaming, and or purchase them like I did. Grab a pizza, get some drinks, whatever you use to party with while you watch movies, and have a double feature of this, because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this double feature. I was never bored. I really kind of watched it, Madam Web, because this was my first time watching it, that I really kind of watched it knowing what everybody else has said. Yes, it's a dumb movie. It's got a ton of problems, but I found it to be enjoyable enough. And one of the special features on there are the Easter eggs. So the director, the writers and stuff really went out of their way to throw in a ton of Easter eggs from the comic books. And so I liked that. And then with Morbius, that I think there was nothing like that on here, but in that history that I watched, they did apply some of the things that happened in the comic book in the movie. And I think that it would really be fun to have, a double feature of these and just enjoy them. Just have fun with them. Are they good? Not really. Are they, are there good things and bad things? Yes. I really enjoyed the score from Morbius, and I just think it would be fun to watch both of these back to back. Just watch the you know, two massive bombs, uh, and they're not going to have any. You know, you're not going to need sequels or anything like that. You know, you're not going to get any of that. So this is kind of like a one-time thing. But oh, and the special features on Morbius are things like defining the anti-hero, the good, the bad, and the ugly, supporting cast. One thing the director does mention in the behind the scenes is he does bring up Venom twice. And of course, Morbius does uh uh when he's beating up one of the bad guys, he does say that he is Venom. So on top of this being in the world of Spider-Man, it is also in the world of Venom. So let's take a quick look here. Madam Web. So its budget, so 80 million, and then it was 100 million gross. So that's the net and the gross. Its box office, God, only made 100.5 million. That is a bomb. That is a massive, massive bomb. I mean, like I said, I think the history of the movie is probably more well known than the film. Even the bad guy, um, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Ezekiel. Getting old sucks. It's weird as they interview the actor in the behind the scenes. He seems to talk perfectly well. He has an accent, but his voice, they ADR'd his voice, which is really bizarre because there are moments where his mouth is not moving and he's talking, or it will cut to somebody and his dialogue will be over that person looking at him. So I don't know if his sound got screwed up and they just had to ADR it quickly and it was done really poorly because it seems like one of those old like kung fu movies from like the 70s where the voices just don't match. Um, that was weird because the actor, he seemed to be able, like you could understand him fine. It's not like um they dubbed his voice because you can't understand him, like he has a really thick accent or something. So that was weird. And then Morbius was a budget of 75 to 83 million, and its box office was 167.5 million. So better than Madame Web, but still not good. Not good at all. And I know that it it did get that second release, which everybody made fun of. You know, like what was it? It's Morphin Time. But I don't know. I think give these two films a second chance, you know, or even a first chance. Just like I said, I had a great time with these. And according to, and this is probably slightly off now, maybe, but according to Rotten Tomatoes, if that means anything to you, Madam Web has a 14% tomato meter and a 58 audience score. Morbius has a 15% tomato meter and a 71% audience score. So that's not good. Not a massive difference, not a huge, but the 58 is the, you know, the popcorn bucket pushed over, while the 71 is that it is still sitting up. The only films so far that have come out from Sony within the Spider-Verse are Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, Madam Web, and Venom: The Last Dance. There's coming out later this year is Kraven the Hunter. So that has a December 13th, 2024 listing. And I have on here from Rotten Tomatoes what's coming up, like for everything. And we'll quickly go through that. So we got Kraven the Hunter. I'm not going to read the dates because these dates are wrong. Because it says like Kraven the Hunter was supposed to be October 6th, 2023. The film was made a while back. and it sat on the shelf. Madam Web sat on the shelf. Morbius sat on the shelf. All, you know, except for the Venom movies, all of these films have sat on the shelf. It does list Madam Web, El Mutro, which has Bad Bunny in it, and he just looks freaking weird. So I'll skip that one. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, that I'm looking forward to. They do list Venom 3. Then there's one called Spider-Women. Untitled Olivia Wilde Project. And it says that she is slated to direct a Sony Spider-Man universe film. It is widely believed that the movie will center on the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, but this has not been confirmed. Another movie called Jackpot. Unknown Roberto Orsi Project. Untitled Hypno Hustler Project. Silk Spider Society, says that's supposed to be a TV series. Spider-Man Noir, that is one that I am really looking forward to. That's Nicolas Cage. It's a live action version of the character that he played, you know, Into the Spider-Verse. And he just looks really cool. That's, I believe, is done. That's next year. The Sinister Six. Fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man project. Live action Miles Morales project. I kind of like them animated. So that's what's listed for those. And then, yeah, they list on Wikipedia, Sinister Six, Night Watch, Jackpot. Pretty much that's it. Yeah, TV show Spider Noir, not Spider-Man Noir, which is how Rotten Tomatoes has it. But I think it's just, yeah, Spider Noir with Nicolas Cage. And that's 8 episodes. So that's filming right now. Other projects in development: Silk Spider Society, Silver and Black. So, yeah, so it's, yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed these very much. Maybe on their own, maybe skip it. But I think watch both, like I said, back to back. Get a pizza, go grab some beer if you do that, you know, if you drink, or get high, do whatever you do to enjoy a party with friends, and just have a double feature, you know, of Madam Web and Morbius. And I think that it could be a lot of fun. Just, you know, you're obviously not going to expect, you know, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 from these, but it's still really, you know, fun. I don't know. I just kind of had a fun time watching these. Also, just knowing, like I said, like the history of these movies just kind of made it a little more enjoyable. And then look for Easter eggs and watch the mid-credit scenes and stuff. I think that you could have a lot of fun with this. So where I have seen other reviews be very negative on these films, or, you know, I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to say, go watch these movies. That I just think that it is a lot of fun, and that you can. I'm dying here because I'm getting that name wrong, and it's really starting to kill me. So it's frustrating me. I hate to do this, but it's just messing me up. J. Jonah Jameson. There we go. J. Jonah Jameson. I think I got it right on one of my tries. That's a Stan Lee thing. Is he liked to put the same letter? So J. Jonah J. Jameson with a J. Peter Parker, PP. He did that, you know, a few times with characters. You know, So yeah, so nobody has to correct me down in the comment section. I got his name right. Being dyslexic and old and stuff does not help things at all. So I got to look him up from time to time. But okay, people, this went on a little longer than I thought that it would, but lots to talk about with both these movies and the universe and all of that. So they'll most likely pop up in another video when I go through like all the Marvel stuff at some point. So all right, so do yourself a favor, have some fun, and watch both these films together, and ignore all the negative people out there that are saying how horrible it is, because even bad movies can be fun to watch. I don't think anybody sets out to make a bad movie. It's just unfortunate that things end up this way. So, but this is it. There's no commitment. It's just one movie each, because you're definitely not getting sequels to this stuff, which is unfortunate. But because I would love to see the girls in Madam Web have a whole movie where they are dressed up like the Spider Women. We do get 2 scenes of that. They're about maybe a total of a minute complete. I want to say it's like maybe 30 seconds for one of them and like 15 seconds for another. So a minute or less, but we do get to see them in the black costumes that are from the comics. They look great. We even get to see, Madam Web at the end in the red coat, and her eyes are, with the glasses on. So she looks like one of the versions of Madam Web. So if they made a second film and didn't fuck it all up, I don't know. The second film could probably be pretty good. So we'll just have to see. It's unfortunate. And I think, if they did another Blade movie and maybe brought in Jared Leto, have Wesley Snipes and Jared Leto, Blade and Morbius together, I think that could be kind of fun, since that was the original intention for a part 2. But what are you going to do? All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next short review. All right.